Hey everyone, it's your girl Maddie here, aka Beaver Mosh, here today to talk to you about Fathomless Hysteros from the Spain-based band Ouija. This one is coming off of Negra Neat Distro. This is Ouija's third album. However, it should be noted that this is a band that has taken considerable breaks in between records. Ouija's first album came out in '97. Their second release, 2013. And now we have this one, 9 years later. And Ouija is a band that makes no attempts to tame their blasphemous assault. To claim this album as dark would be quite the understatement. This thing is barbaric, it's twisted, and it's utterly despairing, and those qualities are presented to you with a lot of force and power. Ouija does have a melodic bent to their take on black metal, but with that melodicism, it is in no way used to create something pretty or uplifting. No. The melodic senses here only heighten the menace and the viciousness. The emotion that these melodies create only further conjure more darkness on Fathomless Hysteros. On the opening title track here, you get these piercing tremolos that seem to just drift along freely. It's utterly mystifying. The vocals, you get that typical kind of black metal wretchedness, but there's also quite a distinctive snarl to them. The double bass from the drummer, it's really felt and present and powerful, and it gives this track a great sense of forward momentum. And the drummer also plays some particularly complex passages and comes through with some rhythms and beats that are not that recognizable in black metal. Bestia Negra feels like it's racing towards you with its unrelenting snare shots and these unleashed, absolutely cutting riffs played at the highest of intensities. The roaring hums from the guitars on this track frighten, and they summon all hell, but also create this captivating and immersive mood for you to get sucked into. I See You Without Eyes is actually a slower cut here, almost kind of like a black metal ballad. You get these distorted, methodical strums that effortlessly wash you with these depressive and bleak atmospheric swaths. The vocals sound absolutely scarred and desperate. You got these sobering melodies and wistful arpeggios that carry through the entire track. And props to Ouija for finding a way to inject so much feeling into something so outwardly grim. The fifth rider. There's these cool, like, gallivanting, somewhat folksy riffs that have such a triumphant yet despondent in equal measures tone to it. These blood-curdling howls are held up by this intricate and emotive guitar run that kind of sits underneath the track. This whole song takes on a bold and arresting demeanor. Hijo del Kaido is by far my favorite cut on here, and part of that is because it has one of the most stunning melodies on the entire album. It's beautifully heartbreaking. There's this cold, yearning, and completely haunting atmosphere that these melodic runs invoke for you. And the goosebumps I get on the shouted spoken word passage, it's very theatrical, but not overdone in a way that it takes you out of the experience of this record and kind of puts it to the side. It's fully immersive in that way. Adversary is interesting. The pure classic heavy metal worship in the guitar solos here, it's not expected. It's fully welcome. And I adore the little winding guitar leads that kind of jump around all over this track. And I love how also this song is held up by this very straightforward at this point drum beat. The drummer shows a lot of diversity in some of the more complex stuff, and then rhythms like this. And with it being so simple here, it's still very impactful and satisfying. Some of the riffs on this have this real delightful stomp to them, and I'm not typically used, I don't think, to complimenting black metal for its grooves, but I am here. There is a groove, a very good and very satisfying groove on this track. The last cut, Unbridled Transylvanian Passion. I love when black metal tracks take on very black metal names, and makes sense because this is a very classic black metal sounding track. It has that very 90s shine to it. You got these frigid and majestic tremolos, these ghastly chords throughout, and these absolutely hellish shrieks from the vocalists. It's a very strong note to end the record on. Ouija really comes through on this album. I think it's a record that's kind of going unnoticed right now, and it shouldn't be that way. I really enjoy how this band kind of juggles moodiness and atmosphere and melodicism all at the same time, while keeping the darkness and the fury and the heaviness. Don't forget about the heaviness. It keeps it all fully intact. Each musician on this record fully plays their part, from the very frozen guitar and bass lines to the deeply felt vocal performances to the very diverse and unique drum work on this thing. And with that all said, there's some just really good songwriting here with memorable moments upon memorable moments. This is a very solid, somewhat melodic, I don't want to call it straight up melodic, black metal album. And those are my thoughts. If you enjoyed this review, please hit that like button. It really helps the algorithm and get the video out there. If you'd be so kind and you enjoy what I do and want to be notified of what's next to come, please subscribe. It would mean the world to me. If you have thoughts on this record or metal in general or anything about the channel, please comment below. I love interacting with those. I have a Twitter you can follow, link to that, bio in this YouTube channel. Keep it metal. My name is Maddie, aka Beaver Mosh, and I am signing off.